Here we go with a little bit of Fat Guy Radio Show.
It's Fat Guy Radio Show.
Welcome to Fat Guy Radio Show, everybody, for our special mini-series of Fat and Furloughed. I'm Corey Blaze, and developed this mini-series because I've literally been fat and furloughed throughout this whole pandemic. So I am being joined by another good friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. You know him, you love him. If you've been a listener of Fat Guy Radio Show for any period of time, you're going to know this cat's voice. He is the baddest musician in the land, ladies and gentlemen, the bass thumper himself. And ladies, be still your heart. We're going to find out what's up in his relationship status later on in the show. But folks, put your hands together, take them apart, put them back together again. Welcome my buddy, my friend, Just James, to Fat and Furloughed on Fat Guy Radio Show. What's up, homie?
What up? What up? How you doing, man? I'm
doing good, man. You looking good, bro. You staying safe throughout this whole process?
I am. Staying home as much as I can. I really only go out if I absolutely have to.
Yeah. That's pretty much how everybody is doing it right now with all this that's been going on. I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays because your ass decided to move halfway across the country.
Yeah, man. Had to find some more opportunity. You know, there's only so much you can do in Arizona, you know?
Yeah.
And moving is probably one of the best decisions I've made, man.
You left Phoenix, left us all behind here in this damn heat with all these crazy people. And you moved out to the land of music, literally the land of music, Nashville.
It's literally called Music City. Yeah.
Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. I was shocked when there was part of me that was shocked, but then there was a part of me that wasn't shocked because you have always been the person that's going go and do you know what I mean? You're the one that's going to make sure that you go where the business is, and you've always had this strong sense of business. You crazy as hell, but you've always had a strong business sense. You know what I'm saying? So how's it been out there in the city of music?
It's been good, man. It's been kind of, it's weird because, you know, I came out here to really pursue, you know, the production side of what I do because I've been playing bass for so long. And so now I just wanted to, you know, kind of move into a place where I can, you know, have a 401k and a retirement, you know, if you will, you know. And so I came here for that, and I actually started, you know, doing business, as you say, music production out of my apartment, and then it was illegal here in Nashville.
Really, it's illegal to produce music out of your own home
to conduct business as a producer. Like I can't have clients come over. I can't, you know, if I wanted like a guitar player to come over and, you know, cut some music for a client, I couldn't do that. If I want the client to come and do vocals, I couldn't do that because that's called doing business out of your home. So there was a time where I was like, I had to find like a little facility like to do my thing, and they just they just like passed this law where musicians can do business out of their home. So
wow.
it's
I'm surprised by that because you would think that in the city of music, you should be able to produce a record in someone's bathroom if you wanted to.
Yeah, you'd have to be at first, up until like recently, you had to be, formally organized to do that. But now you don't have to. Now they're allowing musicians to, do business out of their homes. I think it was because of this is being Music City. It's like one of the number one recording cities in the U.S. And I guess that's taken away from the business if people are doing it from their homes, I guess.
Yeah. It's phenomenal how a lot of people that if you've never even lived in Nashville or you've never been there and you're not pursuing music, that there's so many little regulations that a lot of people just don't talk about. You don't hear a lot of individuals that are saying, you can't, and then they just passed a new city ordinance where you can't produce music in your house. I mean, dude, I think
probably now because of the pandemic is probably why they did that. Probably why they did that. I don't know, but yeah, before it was, if you got caught doing that, it was trouble.
I'm sorry, but that's stupid. That's just dumb as hell because everyone in Nashville is either a musician or a waitress waiting to become a musician,
right,
or a musician that failed and became a waitress. That's all that's going on in Nashville.
That's
so why the hell would they not have it open for anybody and everybody to produce wherever you want? You should be able to walk down the street with a DAT recorder and lay vocals down. When I think of Nashville, I just think of everybody walking around with guitars and microphones. I never would have thought that
that's almost exactly what it is, bro. Like if you come to Nashville and you come to that main strip Broadway, all you will see is a bunch of guitar, cases on people's backs or in their hands, and singers with microphone stands and microphones. Like you see that all the time,
man. Dude. Okay, so it's exactly how I would picture it.
It's exactly how you imagine it.
Yeah, because I was supposed to come out. We had plans. Me and you had been talking about that I was going to do some travel this year, and I was going to make one of my stops off to see you in Nashville and, get some good food, hear some good music. We were planning all that, and then the world went on pause.
Yeah.
And some dude ate a bat's ass, and we couldn't do none of that.
Now we all got what you call it, bat's ass.
You know what I mean? Some dude went out and got the bat's ass special at the local Chinese food market.
What would you call that disease after you ate a bat's ass?
A bat's ass, I would call that disease Good Friday-itis. Because if you eating a bat's ass, it's a Good Friday.
He said he ate a bat's ass.
He did eat a bat's ass. It's horrible. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's just ridiculously and it's nasty. But
that's funny.
But we are here with Just James, and Just James, we're gonna kick the show off with I'm embarrassed to play my custom wrote and arranged and produced hokey intro music for Fat and Furloughed. But I produced this myself, and I'm going to ask you to not judge me on my production and my vocals and my musicianship.
I'm just glad you produced it. I'm glad to hear that you produced it.
I did. Man. I totally produced it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Fat and Furloughed right here on FatGuyRadioShow.com. Fat and Furloughed. Fat and Furloughed.
All right, man.
Fat and Furloughed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fat and Furloughed. I am being joined by my good friend Just James, all the way piped in from Nashville, Tennessee, even though sometimes his audio sounds like he's in the bathroom. but according to Nashville policy, you can't record audio in the bathroom. So,
is my audio messing up?
Just a little bit. It's a little choppy in and out, and I think you might just be connected via Wi-Fi.
I am.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just a Wi-Fi connection. But when you speak up, when you project a little bit, it actually comes through nice and clean.
Should I turn my mic up a little bit here?
No, that made it worse.
Okay, sorry.
But that's all right. People understand that we're doing this all virtually and everything else. So you're digging my intro? You digging my intro?
Yeah, man. It reminds me of Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's what I wanted it to do, because it's like I'm fat and furloughed, man. I ain't got nothing else to do. It's like
man.
It's what everybody else is going on right now. It's like the COVID hit. My day job said, well, fat guy, you've been doing well. You've served us for 375 years, but you're temporarily fired. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Get the hell out. So when they expressed this to me, I said, okay, well, what the hell am I going to do with my downtime? And I said, you know what? I'm just going to hang out with friends and record, little mini shows, little mini series. Got a whole line of these set up, and they're going to be released back to back to back. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why not? That's what we do. And that's something that I picked up from you, Just, when you were here, is that, you never let any temporary setback stop you. You was going to find some way, somehow to do something. No matter how many people in these little clubs or coffee shops told you no and shut your door, you wouldn't found someone that was gonna say yes and found it and you drug me along for a lot of those times, man. Those are some good times here in Phoenix, man.
Man. They were. I enjoyed those times. Taught me a lot, and I kind of wish I still had that same drive. Now that some of the things that I've learned now over the years, I guess I still do, just in different areas. But
why do you say your drive? You feel that your drive is different?
I feel like the things I care about now are different. I got older.
Yeah.
I've experienced some things, and the things that I want to do. I guess my drive is the same, but just it's applied in different areas, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But I remember when I was doing all of that, that vibe session stuff, man, it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. But
a lot of work.
There was a lot of fun at the same time. It was so interesting because just recently this year, because of the pandemic, one of the places where I think I kind of feel you started the vibe sessions was Hobnob's Coffee Shop in downtown Phoenix with the green roof. Do you remember that place?
The very first, that's kind of like the very first getting my feet wet, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got booted out of that building.
Really?
Yeah. After being there for so many years, dude, I remember Hobnobs used to be called something else back when I was in high school. And I remember allegedly smoking the reefer out on that patio when I was back in high school. But yeah, just this year, they ended up getting booted out of that building because it was a long running feud between Hobnobs and that ticket business that was next door to it. And I guess the ticket business ended up winning out, and Hobnobs lost that building. Very iconic looking building. There's no other building like it in Arizona that looks like that. And they ended up moving into a different space, about 1.5 miles up the road. But they're no longer there. And when I saw that news story come across, the first person I thought about was you. And I says, that's where Vibe Sessions really kicked off. And being in there in that small little area around that fake fireplace that ain't been had a fire in 50 years and all cramped up in there. And I still have some pictures running around my house somewhere. When, we were all in there and you got the, your bass guitar, you sitting on top of the floor tom of the drums. You had a saxophone player in there that I remember he just wanted to make sure he was playing louder than everybody else. It didn't make no sense exactly what he was playing, but he was just going to play louder. than everybody else.
You talking about the short one?
Yeah. I'm not gonna call him by name. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna call him by name.
I know who you talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But there was some good times in there and some amazing, and you introduced me to some amazing talents here in Phoenix. But man, I miss those times. That was when doing those shows with you, man, was like a break from just doing radio. Because when I do radio, I'm in a little 5x7 room with, 4 or 5 other dudes, and we just talking to each other and not really being able to, we have our chats, chat services and stuff like that people can do during our live shows. But when I went to the vibe sessions, you got immediate audience reaction, and you get up there and you feel the energy of the audience. And one particular, I don't know if it was called the vibe session or not, but the one that I remember the most, which was, I believe, the funnest for me, was the one that we did at 9 The Gallery.
Yeah, that was the Night of Soul joint.
Yeah, that was the Night of Soul.
That's the one you were hosting, and you told the same story. You was like, man, just that immediate interaction that you got.
I loved it.
I remember you were talking about, you talked about how refreshing it was, and you did great. Like, you had everybody laughing their asses off. Like, I remember that. I remember that was a good night.
You didn't put no restrictions on me or nothing, man. And it was good music, and it was fun. Met some amazing people that are still friends to this day. Trevor Clay.
How's Trevor, his mom doing?
Laura's doing good. Laura was the former owner of 9 The Gallery. There was some controversy that kind of came about between her ownership being transferred to a guy because she was battling cancer, and I believe she's in remission now. And then when she went into remission, she tried to retake ownership of 9 The Gallery, and this dude had put in a clause under her nose in the contract that ended up actually not just temporarily taking the gallery from her, but actually really taking the gallery from her full time. And it was a whole big, huge thing, and front page news on the Phoenix New Times and everything like that about Laura and her battle with that, because basically that guy or the owners took advantage of the fact that Laura was in a medicated state at the time. It was a big, huge mess, but she's doing great. I believe she's in remission. Trevor Clay is doing
still singing.
I believe so. I haven't seen a lot. He released a track the later part of last year. I haven't seen a lot of music coming from him lately.
He could have totally been like the new Michael Bublé or some shit.
I mean, the dude, he was just absolutely had him on the show.
He had a great voice. And I don't know what he's doing with his life, but he had a great voice, man.
Trevor had the voice where if you heard him, you knew that was Trevor Clay.
Yeah.
That's how amazing.
And his name. He has a fucking dope name. Yeah. You put Trevor Clay on a fucking ticket, somebody's going to that show.
Somebody's going to go to that show just because of the name. They're going to be like, either this is going to be a really good concert or a really good pottery class. One or the other, but I'm going.
Right. I remember when I was trying to do a song with him, he wanted to change his name to Trevor Dragon. Because I think that's his mom's last name.
Yeah, that is Laura's last name.
And I was like, nah, bro. Nah. Trevor Clay is a fucking dope name. Don't change that.
Stay with Clay. Stay with Clay. You know what
I mean? There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
it looks. I mean, just think about it, and that's one of the things that makes you such an amazing musician and producer is because you just don't see the music, man. You see the entire package of everything.
Yeah.
When I was launching Fat Guy Radio Show, you were all about the packaging. You know what I mean? You were all about how everything kind of ties in together. You know what I mean? From logos and finding ways to come up with phrases and names and titles that gonna grab people's attention. You know what I mean? You just don't want to have something that's gonna flow into the rest of of the crowd. You got to have something that stands out, and that's something that is powerful because you come from a musician family. I mean, I believe music was invented for the James clan. Yeah, you know what I mean? If it's been done in music, I guarantee you that someone with the last name James or Jackson has done it.
Yeah.
You know, so where are you at now? What's up with the music scene and where are you at as far as your career goes now? And now that we've caught everybody up on where you are, where are you at as far as the music scene goes?
Man, well, before all this stuff, I was touring with this, cat, Noah Khan. He's a folk artist. I was pretty much never in. So when I first moved to Nashville, I kind of got that gig and I was pretty much never here. And it was probably one of the most fun gigs I had because I got to see some countries that I've never been to. The only place I've been to overseas was Asia, but I got to go to
Asia?
Europe. Yeah, well, different places in Asia, but I got to go to Europe and I got to go to Australia and just got to see some different places, and that was dope. Being on tour, I got to drive through places like Boise, Idaho, to like Portland, Oregon, and see all this landscape that was gorgeous. It was nice, man. It was nice up until then. That's what I was up until now. That's what I was doing. Just kind of living the dream, if you will.
Now, with Noah Khan, I'm not smart. I'm talking to the internet. That's all I do. Was Noah Khan a secular artist? Was he a Christian artist? What I could never tell because his
that is so funny because
his pants say secular artist, but his shirts say Christian artist. And his face says both, so I was confused as to what type of artist he was. And then when I heard some of his music, that you've shared on like social media, I couldn't narrow it down. I couldn't tie it down. Where does he land, or does he just mix it all together? I'm not sure.
It's funny, man. Noah is far from a Christian artist. He's not Christian at all.
Well,
he's Jewish. He's Jewish. He's a folk artist. Kind of folk pop, if you will.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, we used to mess with him about that because a lot of his lyrics and like the way some of his songs are set up, it sounds like kind of worshipy, kind of Christian music.
Yeah,
it's not. It's totally way left field. It's not Christian music.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have to necessarily be a Christian to do Christian music. You and I both know.
Oh well, yeah,
there's some folks that is doing Christian and gospel music that about as close as God as the East is to the West. And they shouldn't be doing what they doing, but okay, so it's kind of little folky music and
it's
so forth.
folk Americana type, it's very the songwriting is kind of like the main focus.
Okay,
and so it's got kind of storytelling about like his past, how he grew up, things about his false confidence, it's more so things like that, his personal life, being a young musician signed to a label, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of the stuff that he talks about.
You were doing some, not only just touring with him and touring with that band, had some TV appearances.
Yeah. We had, we did a couple of them actually. We did, what did we do? We did, what's the man's name? The Colbert Show. We did Colbert. We did Billboard Live.
I remember that.
we did another show. It's a show. I can't even pronounce it. It's a show and it airs in Australia, I think. But
Was that Australia or was that Mexico? I remember seeing it on social media.
It's like Scalavan or something like that. It's an is it European or Australian? I can't remember. It's a European or Australian show, but we filmed it in New York.
Okay.
And they used you remember the old like Ricky Lake show back in the day?
Yeah, definitely.
And so they use, I forgot who uses that studio now, but that's the studio that we use to film.
So they filmed it in New York, but it aired in Australia.
Yeah, or Europe, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those. But,
Yeah.
And then we also did The Voice. We did The Voice too.
Yeah, the voice. It wasn't the U.S. version of the voice.
No, it was the Australian one.
The Australian voice.
Australian. So for some reason, his biggest audience is in Australia. Like he's went platinum like 80 times in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why we were there a lot. Like, and that is the absolute. I don't know anybody listening to this. If you plan on going to Australia, that is the absolute worst plane ride in the freaking world. Do you hear me? I mean, because we had to start from, it's stupid because we have to fly from Nashville to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then from LA all the way to Australia. Right?
Yeah.
But then, for those people who think the earth is flat, well, I found out that it's not.
Oh, it's not flat.
Because on the way back, we went around and we came back quicker.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news whenever it feels like breaking from Just James himself. The earth
is round.
Is round.
Yeah.
So the rest of you flat earthers, y'all just keep walking till you get to the edge.
Right.
You just keep walking till you get to the edge.
If you fall, call me while you falling.
So where is Just James on the relationship scale? Because everybody always asks that, because everybody wants to know where the musician is on the relationship scale. Are you with the single sopranos? Are you with the available altos? Or are you in the tied down tenor section?
I'm in the tied down tenor section, man. I got me a nice lady.
What?
Yeah, man.
Is it tied down as far as like commitment, or is it tied down with just or with a ring? Did you put a ring on it?
Oh no, we ain't got there yet.
Okay, all right.
But it's just definitely committed. I'm in a committed relationship, and we've been together for a few months, but we've known each other for a few years. But
okay,
we just started dating some months ago, and yeah, man, I'm all about me for a long time. I was just out there being wild,
Well, not wild. You were more focused on other things. So
yeah.
is the relationship part of how you've refocused since you've been out in the Middle Earth?
No, I would just say I understand myself more now, and I'm more comfortable with me, and I know what I want.
Okay.
And I'm all about relationships that add value. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And yeah, so that's what I felt from this relationship. Just aside from us having a great connection, I can see longevity because she actually adds value to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that's what made me make the decision to be like, all right, I'm cool with being with you and nobody else.
And singing in the tied down tenor section.
I'm cool with the tied down tenors. Yeah.
So how did you end up meeting said Ty?
We met her here in Nashville. She was a big name in the musician circle, if you will. Like I've always heard her name as a vocalist because she's a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked her up on Instagram, and
you slid into them DMs. Is that what the young kids say?
not at that time. Because at that time, I was really interested in just her as a vocalist.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't nothing creepy.
Yeah. So like I said, we known each other for a few years, but we just started dating.
Okay.
But so yeah, I heard about it. I looked her up on Instagram. And yeah, I found out, she sang with, she sings with CeCe Winans and Lauren Daigle, and, a bunch of other people. And yeah, I was like, okay, she's really good. She was on that one show, I don't know, something, America's Got Talent or some shit.
America's Got Talent with Simon Cowell and Howie Mandel.
It wasn't that one. It was the one with the dude from Boys to Men on it. Sean, was it Sean?
Sean?
The dude, the dude from Boys to Men, his name is Sean?
No. I don't know. And there's too many boys that had turned into men in that group. I don't know who. I forgot
the name of the show, but it was one of those ABC shows with the singers on it. There was some sing-off competition she was on. So
okay.
I'm seeing all of this, and I'm seeing all this on the ground. I'm like, okay, she's actually really good at what she does.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it just became, we just knew each other in the music community. And then I want to say maybe about a year into me being here, we were in the same place at the same time, and we finally met in person, kind of on accident. We went to the same show, and I found out she was there, I was there, and we actually met. And then a year after, while she was touring with Lauren Daigle, and the whole pandemic thing was starting to happen, and everybody's tours got shut down.
Mm.
That's when I slid into those DMs, because it was like we ain't doing shit else, so it's like I might as well, make a friend real quick, and a friendship turned into now she's my lady.
That's dope. That's dope. There wasn't. I mean, I don't know relationship just.
Mm-hmm.
I know single business just.
Okay.
And I believe because when you were here in Phoenix, you were focused more on growing a business and developing a brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You weren't really chasing a relationship at that time. So it's very interesting to hear that, you got it on I don't want to say it sounds bad to say you got it on lockdown, but it's kind of like
you can say that.
You kind of like got it on lockdown. You know what
man,
I'm saying?
You can say that, man.
You definitely got it on lockdown. And it's kind of cool how y'all met. Y'all kind of just tripped over each other.
Yeah.
In a way, after you said you was researching her talent, but it sounds creepy stalker status to me. But that's okay. We'll go with that. You ain't got to worry about that.
As a producer, I'm always seeking talent.
That's true. And if that talent happens to come with a nice piece of ass, then so be it.
I'm not mad at that. Most producers date their talent.
Yeah. Man, your audio sounded really good now, bro. I don't know what the hell you did, what you kicked, but it sounded crispy now.
Okay.
And of course it starts sounding crispy when you start talking about your lady. That's what I love about these shows are so raw. I'm at home, you know what I mean? I stole this microphone from some dude that had a real radio show.
Is that an RE20?
It's an RE320, man, not the RE20. We ain't there yet.
Okay.
We get there though, but so the relationship is a clink lockdown. So you said that you mentioned that everybody's gigs have been
shut down.
So as a musician, now my gig has been shut down too. Video camera work for the Phoenix Suns and video camera work for Grand Canyon University. That's all on pause. You know what I mean? And the Suns are playing, but the Suns are playing in Orlando, Florida. And my camera work for them was for people, for the fans in the stands. And right now, COVID ain't allowing nobody to be in the stands. But so I know how it's been a little bit of a financial push, for me with that little side gig that I got going on. But you musician full time.
Yeah.
So how have you approached this in, making sure that you're still able to, keep your lights on, keep, a roof over your head and keep your girl happy with, maybe something shiny or something that grows out of the ground every once in a while. Those were flowers for those of you that are tracking at home. Those were flowers. That was Corey with some wordplay.
Man, not to toot my own horn.
Go ahead.
But I find excitement in me having to reinvent myself. You know what I mean? Like I find that journey exciting. And a lot of my peers are depressed and, they're like sad because, they're not gigging, they're not working. They're like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is like an infant stage of creativity now. Like now I have to create Just James in a different way. So I've been, and I know now everybody is on the internet. So I've been trying to use the internet in some more creative ways than I usually do, and trying to put myself out there more as a personality. Because you don't know if you know this about me, and you've probably seen this at my vibe session. There was a big part of me that always wanted to be in like some type of improv or like some type of skit comedy or, sketch comedy, stuff like that. Because I always felt like I was fast on my feet and I can hold a crowd. I was funny.
I agree.
I've
I
always
sign off on that.
I've always wanted to be, I never wanted to be like big time or like the main guy. Just like, how like Mike Epps has his appearance in a movie here and there. He could get like 5 seconds of screen time and that's all you see.
Yeah.
Just I wanted to be that guy.
It's called cameos. You want to have comedy cameos.
Yeah, I wanted to be that guy. So I'm using a lot of that part of me now to, put that more out there. And I'm seeing like the content game is a big thing now on social media. Content is everything.
Totally.
So I'm trying to dive into that. I've even been watching, doing these tutorials on like, I'm into the filming side of things. Like, me actually like being behind the camera and knowing how to use it for real, not just, putting it up and taking some video.
You're dipping your toe into my world over there.
Yeah, like the ISOs and the, white balances and all that.
All right.
I'm getting into all of that just so I can make sure my quality is, up to par.
Stuff that I was telling you needed to happen on some of the projects you were working out here, and you were like, let's just shoot it.
Right.
Now
he was like, we ain't got no lighting. We don't have the audio is terrible.
Now you understand that pain.
Yeah,
you understand that struggle.
It's it's crazy because I've been doing this content with my lady, and just the whole process of setting up it takes time.
Yeah,
and I get frustrated with how like you being the director or the guy behind the camera. You're getting frustrated with the talent because they think they just need to show up and stand there, then we can start shooting. Like, no, we need to get you in focus. We need to make sure the aperture is right. You know what I'm saying? All that, it's going to take me a good 30, 45 minutes. Just stand there and just give me a second.
Yeah, because what you see when you're a camera operator, when you're a director, you see something in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
But when you become a camera operator, the camera has a different eye. Yep. And the camera is going to see things that your mind's eye may or may not have seen. So you're going to have to make an adjustment to that, a shadow on somebody's face, or when someone moves into a certain position, they become a shadow or they go out of focus, and what's going on in the background that wasn't there when you scouted the location, a week before and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a whole lot. So I'm feeling you.
Yeah, man.
With getting behind the camera on this. So you've been doing that to produce what types of content that you've been releasing out or planning to?
To produce, I'm doing it to get I want to make it a hobby, if you will. Okay. So I'm doing it for that, and also to make the quality of like I'm doing these. She's doing a lot of covers now, and she's doing videos to her covers. And so I'm shooting her, doing her cover videos. I'm trying to apply that knowledge while doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Also doing like I do these. I kind of do these talking videos of kind of like giving knowledge, music knowledge, if you will.
Okay.
Like just sharing my experience as a musician, and I know like this new like college generation is coming up, and they want to get into the gigging scene, and things that they can expect, and how they how they can fight some insecurities that they might have when they walk into the scene. I do these videos, and those actually I shot those with my iPhone, and they were actually terrible. This was before I got into the whole, what the camera can actually do.
Wait, okay. Well, after the show, I will send you a link to an app that you can put on your iPhone.
Oh, Filmic. I got it.
You got it? Okay. Because that gives you all of those ISO controls and zooms and pans and color settings and color warmth. That all goes, you can control that all in your iPhone. Your iPhone is actually very powerful. A lot of people don't realize that some of the promos that we even put out for Fat Guy Radio Show have been shot on iPhones.
It's crazy, man. I found that out. Especially with the iPhone 7 when they put those 2 cameras on there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Well, I knew it was 2 cameras, but I didn't know that you could utilize it in the way you could until I got that app.
Oh, yeah.
Filmic Pro app.
Yeah. You got all the power behind that thing.
I was like, man, this is nice, man. So yeah. I'm
So
just
you're
been getting all that kind of stuff.
using that skill set and you're using it with your girl. I mean, why? You got a built-in artist right then and there. You don't have to go out and beg someone to be a part of a video project. You got, she's right there, and if she say no, then you can withhold that loving. So
I mean, she's just as she's just as hungry and want to be creative as I do. So that's what makes it fun.
That's good, because a lot of musicians think that they go out and they do a couple of gigs, and you taught me this. They do a couple of gigs and then they just sit back on the couch with an attitude and just expect someone from Capitol Records to walk up to the front door and knock on it and say, hey, here's a multi-million-dollar signing bonus. Please come. You know what I mean? But you've always loved the hunger of the thrill of the chase in a way. You know what I mean? And doing what you get. So I'm excited, dude. Hats off to you for chasing the adding in another pleat into your resume. Video production. And what are you editing on? I hate asking this question because it's always something crazy, but what are you editing on? What's
of course, my first was iMovie, of course. That's what I was using.
Of what?
And it was iMovie, of course.
Oh,
it came with my computer.
Oh yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
But I upgraded to Premiere Pro.
Yes.
I upgraded to Premiere Pro, and that's what I'm using to edit. And I've been watching these dudes on YouTube, like this dude, this full-time filmmaker dude named, I forget his real name. I think it was Parker or something.
Mm-hmm.
But him and his crew do a real good job of actually applying what they're trying to teach you, while you watch them. It's kind of hands-on. And this other cat named Peter McKinnon, they got millions of subscribers on YouTube, man. I'm watching these guys trying to apply that knowledge.
There's a lot of geeks out there that are willing to share the knowledge, bruh. And you'll be surprised what you can learn. I mean, I've had some formal training, but when I have this idea in my head as far as what I want to do or what I want to produce, you'll be surprised at how many tutorials there are out there to do it. And made friends with a couple of the people that are on YouTube, friends with YouTubers that release these tutorials that just walk you through step by step on how to pull something off. And then you follow their step by step, and then you go in and you tweak a little bit of what they did with something that you learned from another tutorial a few months ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then before you know it, you got your skill sets just stocking up on you.
Yeah.
And then
you can actually get paid to do it one day.
And you can get paid to do it one day, because that's the Justin way. If it don't end at $sign somewhere, it may not be worth it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Hey. And for me, the goal for me is to put out content that showcases, more parts of just Justin the musician, Justin the producer.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put out content that showcases my personality. My things that I think about, even the things that I post on social media. I want you to hear me say it. So I want you to get a laugh. I want you to laugh from it, but also be thought provoking. You know what I mean? Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite guys to watch because he can be so raw and so inappropriate, but it's thought provoking and it makes you laugh. You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I guess the main goal is, because I know I don't know what's going to be next, but I know that if I can reinvent myself into a music personality, if you will, I could potentially probably do some other work and do other things. That's
phenomenal, dude, because you are you're really good at reinventing yourself. And it's funny because you reinvent yourself several times when you were even here in Arizona, and it didn't seem like you were reinventing yourself. It just seemed like you had a new project or a new drive or something, but it really was a part of the process of reinventing. And it always got better and better and better and bigger and bigger and bigger, man. And of course, you've, like all musicians and like anyone that's in the entertainment industry that we both are in, my level of entertainment is just a little different. I talk and you thump. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm trying to sound cool.
You're right. You good.
You thump, I talk, and it's still, within the entertainment industry, and you do have to reinvent yourself. Over the 8 years of doing Fat Guy Radio Show, there's been several reinventions, and some reinventions I didn't even plan on doing. I was just forced to reinvent myself, and so forth. So the adding of the video and driving the content and everything is trying to, is what your avenue that you've taken to kind of navigate this COVID thing. Is it producing any type of revenue to keep the lights on and keep the doors locked?
Not in a way of that you might think. Like, I'm not getting, people, I'm not getting paid ads, companies are not hitting me up and shit like that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I have dived into this, Zoom, online lessons things from some of my talking videos.
Okay.
I guess the information from the video is just making people hit me up and want more information. So that puts me in a position where I could charge them for it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Everybody's doing what they got to do to, like Fat Guy Radio Show. We've launched our merchandise store, our online store. And thank you to everybody that has, participated in that, because the funny thing is as soon as this whole COVID thing hit, we got basically blown out of the studio. We didn't have to leave the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I still go to the studio to, man the helm, while everybody connects in, kind of like how we're doing right now. But we kind of got blown out of the studio. We didn't have to, because as internet radio and podcasters, we were considered an essential business because of the fact that we have the ability to mass communicate.
Yeah.
So, but for safety, everybody is now doing the show from their homes, except for me. I have to go into the studio, and we had to invest in like new virtual equipment. We had to build out new in-home studios for all the guys, you know what I mean, for them to do the show from home, and then cameras and everything else, you know what I mean? So it's like COVID hit and everybody else is like, trying to hold on to money, and here we are having to, push it out.
Yeah. In
order to keep our product going, you know what I mean? And luckily, we have a great audience that has allowed us to, maintain, at a certain level through all of this, but we're getting closer and closer to that line of red. I think the joke is, I said it on the show that, ladies and gentlemen, that's just James getting a call from Steven Spielberg at the moment, or is that Quincy Jones? Who's on the other line there?
Well, that ain't an iPhone tone, so that's the bat phone.
That's the bat phone. 2 kilos behind the QT in 3 hours. All right.
I forgot about Quick Trip.
Oh, dude,
I get you a lot from Quick Trip,
dude. If we don't get out of this COVID thing, I'm gonna be turning tricks at the next QT to keep my show going.
You gonna be a QT at QT?
I'm gonna be a QT hoe. I ain't lying. I'm gonna be out there. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into too much. But we that close.
Well, I feel you, man.
Buy a t-shirt, y'all.
I feel you, bro. I had a joke with my homies. I was like, I might have to start an OnlyFans page. Man.
I'm telling you. And you know what? That's I've been talking about that a lot on the show. I've been talking about it a lot on our bonus show, Afterbird. Dude, OnlyFans have exploded.
They have,
and I'm not
even girls that didn't know they won't be on there.
Dude, I have seen ads for former collegiate basketball players that have started OnlyFans pages.
Wow,
guys people that you would never ever expect.
Okay, so I thought OnlyFans was like the new back page. Like, I thought it was like where like prostitutes go and sell themselves or sell their content to
well, I don't know. I've never used Backpage, allegedly, but OnlyFans, and I'm not gonna lie. I've said it on the show. I've got a couple of subscriptions. I ain't gonna lie. It's been lonely in this COVID thing. You know what I mean? You can't go out and meet nobody. So, you got to get that raw content. You know what I mean?
You got to do what you got to do, man.
You got to do what you got to do. And if you paying for it, then hell, you get what you pay for, even though sometimes you got to be careful because they tell you that there's some good stuff on there. And when you pay your money, and you actually get access to everything, you go on there and it's just nothing but more ads. I've been burned by that several times.
You know,
too.
paying for men paying for sexual pleasure is not a bad thing, man.
Well, it's not even that you're paying for the actual act. OnlyFans is no different than any other adult entertainment website out there. The only difference is that it's like, you know, it's Becky with the good hair from up the street. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's like your everyday person. There's no professional level quality stuff now there are some professional what I'm gonna give
professional level quality stuff.
Yeah, there ain't no professional produced videos and content on OnlyFans. It's everybody with their iPhones and their Galaxy Notes and their webcams on their laptops, you know, doing what they want to do. Here's the thing. You and I both know this. If you put a price tag on something, somebody gonna buy it.
Somebody gonna buy it, yeah.
Somebody gonna buy it. So you know what? I don't begrudge people with OnlyFans pages, but I have been a little shocked by some people that I may or may not have met. Doing what I do that has definitely, you know, went the way of the OnlyFans. But dude, everybody's got to get their hustle on. Everybody's got to get their money up somehow.
You have to, man.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy because I kind of want to stick it to the people that be like, I would never. You never know what you would do in a place of pure survival. Like all I gotta do is survive. You never know in that situation. Dude. I've been in that situation, and I was surprised at some of the things that I did.
We've all been there. I'm sure everyone listening or watching this right now has probably been there at some time. Now, if I wasn't a metric ton in weight,
stupid.
I can't say emphatically that I would not in this hour have an OnlyFans page. Matter of fact, I know that I would, because I've gone on record for years now that if I wasn't the shape that I am in, which is, you know, the shape of, you know, the earth, which is round. I'm in shape.
We discovered.
Yeah, I'm in shape. It's just a round shape. I'm in shape. It's just round. And if I wasn't in a round shape, I'm telling you, I would do adult entertainment, and I definitely in this hour have an OnlyFans page. People are out there that you got to get your hustle on, whatever. And if you know what I mean, shake what your mother gave you. If it's gonna make some money, somebody gonna look at it. And trust me, I didn't trip across some pages where I'm like, your mama definitely didn't give you that. Burger King and McDonald's gave you that. And Planet Fitness wants to take it away, but you got it now. But if somebody is willing to, you know, but dude, I've been surprised by OnlyFans profiles that have come up.
Me too. I know I got a lot of friends that I would never expect.
Never.
Like,
no,
wow.
On Twitter is where they advertise everywhere.
Yeah.
For those of you that are out there that may be a little lonely, check Twitter for OnlyFans, and you just be surprised. You'd be 100%. But I ain't gonna lie, I've looked. I got plenty of accounts. I look, I'll pay for it in a minute. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and you. I
read an article one time, man. This is like business article. I was on a plane, forgot the name of the magazine, but this dude said, at this point in his life, he was like a 33-year-old, you know, businessman, and he was like, I'm on my way to like being at the peak of my pursuit, if you will, and he was like, I'd rather pay for sex now than worry about dating or getting into a relationship, because you both are going into it knowing what you want from it. All I want as a man, I just want some sex. As a woman, she just wants her money. There is no, I wake up in the morning and there's no good morning, handsome text, or do you want to meet up for lunch later? Or no distractions.
Or where you going? Who you going to meet?
Where you going?
How long you going to be there?
Meet?
Park over there. Slow down. You know? Speed up. Don't talk. What you gonna eat? Don't eat that. Stand over there. No, stand over there. The kid need this. The kids need that. No, I don't know. Don't touch my hair. You don't even notice that my hair got done. You don't even notice that this is a new dress. I bought it with your money. Your mama can't come here. He ain't got to worry about none of that.
He ain't got to worry about all that. He has to worry about none of that. He can just get up
transaction
and go to work. And you know, he was talking about his private life and how he, you know, pays professional services, professional, you know, companies for escorts and shit like that. And I was like, hey man, I totally 100% agree with that, bro. Like I agree. If you're pursuing something as a man and you're building some type of legacy for yourself and you ain't got time for the bullshit, yeah.
Yeah,
And
dude.
even if you try to find, because you know how there are those women like who try to pretend, we could just have a sexual relationship and that's it.
Friends with benefits is what they classify.
That's always going to turn into something else
because they can't separate the physical from the emotional.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that to downplay women. This ain't got nothing to do with that. But I'm just telling you, that's just the way your brains are wired, folks.
Yeah. And
just the way y'all wired.
And I'll even say this. I don't want to say it, but I'll say it to not sound sexist. Men have that problem too. So
that is true.
Yeah.
That is definitely
men have that problem too.
Where you can't separate the physical, but if you go into it with the idea that it's a business transaction, so be it. Las Vegas is a prime capital place where people go.
That's why they go there,
and they go there to make a business transaction.
That's why they go there.
And if you're somebody that is building something and you just want a little slap and tickle, and you don't want the rest of the drama, you don't want the rest of the responsibility that goes along with it, who's to begrudge you?
Yep.
You go into it, you take the risk. You know what the risk is and you know what the reward is. And if you understand that, who are we to begrudge? See, that's what's wrong with America right now is that we got too many people that are trying to project how they feel is what they feel is right upon people that they feel is wrong.
Right.
Instead of just saying, you know what, you doing something that ain't hurting me, ain't hurting nobody else. It's just affecting you. So
do what you do.
Do you.
Do you, bro?
What is the word? Do you, boo?
Right. Especially if you really want to do it. Hey.
Yeah.
Live
so
your life.
start that OnlyFans page and make sure you send the link so I can support small business enterprise. That's how I look at it. I'm supporting small business enterprise.
Yeah, man.
When I paint at school, I wear a smock. It protects me from paint. When the cookie sheet is hot, I wear a pot holder. It protects me from getting burned. When it rains, I wear a raincoat. It protects me from getting rained on. When it's cold, I wear a jacket. It protects me from getting cold. When my friends go to the pool, they wear sunscreen. It protects them from getting sunburned. When my mom and I garden, I wear gloves. It protects me from getting dirty. My dad wears a hat. It protects him from getting sun in his eyes. We all wear things to protect ourselves from something. What's different about wearing a mask? Hashtag Mask Up Arizona.
This is the big one, and I can't let you go before we get into this.
Okay.
The Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh my God.
You've been very vocal on social media with some of your views and I want to hear from the horse's mouth, man. Where do you stand on all of this, and where do you see it going?
Man, at first I was all about it, dude. Like I even like posted the hashtag and everything. I was all about the Black Lives Matter movement because I really thought and believed it was for all Black lives. And I even knew that some lesbian women or the women a part of the gay community has started that movement. I mean, one of the girls, I don't know if you know a dude named O'Shea. He's a drummer
sounds familiar.
There.
Yeah.
But that's his sister. One of those people is his sister.
Okay.
And so I know I already knew that, but then just me digging deeper into it, I started to. And I'm not like that guy who's like a conspiracy theorist or whatever. I just take what information that I get and I come up with my own judgment.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, actually.
Yeah, and so I started to dig into like who funds Black Lives Matter. I started to dig into what their mission statement was, and it really doesn't have anything to do with Black lives. Only Black lives that it has something to do with are the people a part of the LGBTQ community, because their mission statement says a lot about that community. It has really nothing to do with the Black lives as a whole. So I started to look at that, and then I started to look at like the rioting and the protesting, and I started to see all these voting booths outside, of the protest. And so I came up with my theory is that this is a bunch of bullshit. This is a bunch of I feel like the voting is the underlying motive, if you will, because now there's a rise of, I know, just as well as I know, this generation is not voters.
No.
I don't mind. And I know a lot of my generation are not voters. So just seeing that the voting thing is being pushed so hard, I'm seeing voting booths. How do you know? First of all, how do you know when the protest is going to start? How is your voting booth and shit already set up, and you got all your shit, your paraphernalia out there ready for people? How do you know this event is going to happen? So I'm looking at all this. I'm like, maybe are they trying to get these kids to vote? And whoever this person that gets the majority of the votes might do exactly what we think he's going to do and stab us in the back. That's what I think it is.
So you think that, so if you're taking what you've shared with the Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement attached itself to the George Floyd incident. And are you thinking that was just them taking?
But did they though?
I don't know.
Did they? I mean, the Black Lives Matter movement is. I don't even see the founders of the movement anywhere. I don't see them in the forefront of the protests or speaking out about what's going on with police brutality.
So are you saying that the protesters are kind of just adapting the Black Lives Matter thing so it's not necessarily the protest around George Floyd and these African American killings by the hands of police? That's not necessarily the Black Lives Matter movement joining forces. It's more like the protesters adopting the Black Lives Matter movement.
They adopted that. Yeah.
So with the Black Lives Matter that's now been painted on roads in Washington, D.C. and outside Trump Plaza in New York, that's not necessarily in response to police brutality. I don't believe so. I believe that Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement foundation, they are eating right now. Their name is being used everywhere. They have all types of paraphernalia and merchandise now. It's ridiculous. So it's like the equivalent. It's like the equivalent of someone going and running a New York marathon and wearing a Walmart shirt, but then yet Walmart never asked them to put that shirt on. But then yet, because they're in the New York Marathon, they're getting millions of dollars of free advertising because of this person that's running in the marathon. And so that's very interesting. I never made that correlation. I never tied that together because, everybody is now utilizing that phrase. BLM is everywhere.
Yeah, and
every celebrity is using it.
It sounds like something from what's happening from what you see. It sounds like something that you want to be a part of. Like, it sounds like when I heard it, I was like, yeah, man, fucking Black Lives Matter. Y'all out here killing everybody. But then when you actually dig into the whole movement, it has nothing to do with the Black community as a whole. Absolutely nothing.
So what organization or what group of people that are out there that you recognize that should be a part of this whole, curving of this systemic racism that America has been experiencing for so many years? What is there an organization, or what do you see as the avenue to get this thing under control or get this thing eliminated?
Man, my way of thinking is very Old Testament, if you will.
Okay. That's why I'm asking.
I believe in segregation, man. I believe that all of us as humans are naturally racist. If I see a white person, I see a white person, and I'm going to be slightly in discomfort until I meet that white person and they make me feel comfortable in their, energy, with their energy. Same thing with us. If a white person sees a black person, they see a black person, And
so it's kind of like the adaptation of what we teach our children when they're young of stranger danger. Don't, stay away from somebody until you get to know who they are.
I believe we should all have our own communities. You remember like the whole Black Wall Street back in the day?
Yes.
I believe in that, man. And
they burned it down and they torched it, and it was the worst massacre of black people in the history of the America. But you want that back, just?
I believe in that. I believe the whites should have their own communities. I believe the blacks should have their own communities. I believe the Mexicans or Hispanics folks and Asians, folks, they should have their own communities. Africans who moved from Africa to the U.S., they should all have their own communities, and we should dwell together if we want to. We should not have to be forced to dwell together because the majority of the whites don't want to, and it's okay. I'm okay with white people not wanting me to be around them. I'd rather be around my people. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't like people. I don't like people that have bad body odor to be around me as well, but. When I love you to death, but I could disagree with you more right now. Segregation isn't something. Segregation has because what you do is that if you've got in your scenario, in your thought, and you're not wrong for the way that you think. Mm-hmm. You are in 100% right for the way that you think. But as the journalist, I could not sit here and not give you a counterpoint. But if you have all of those segregated groups where the blacks are living amongst each other and only fellowshipping with, other races if they choose to do so, then what you're going to have is an overseeing government that is going to give privileges to they're going to be able to pick and choose, what areas and what groups of people they're going to support and fund. It's kind of like when you are going to PetSmart and you're ready to buy a fish, they got all of the clownfish in one tank, and then they got all of the goldfish in another tank, and then they got all of the sharks in another tank. And you, acting as a government, can now go and pick and choose which tank you want to go to, and then you can neglect the tank if you want to. But then that just means that that segment of people are going to have to defend themselves. So in your scenario, in your thought process, I'm not saying that your thought process is wrong. But the way that I see it, segregation necessarily isn't something that needs to. But I agree with you on the fact that we should not have to have an overseeing government force everybody to interact. You should have the right to be able to choose who you want to be friends with and interact with. And I believe that that's what everybody does today. It's just that when a certain race sees another certain race, they immediately think that race is not as equal to them, so that race should not even exist.
I see what you're saying, and this may be far-fetched, but I mean that too. When I mean by blacks and whites having their own communities, I mean blacks have their own government, the whole nine. We're the only country. Oh, you
going full?
Yeah. Like we're the only country that's a cesspool. If you go to Asia, it's Asians that live there.
A melting pot.
If you go to Australia, there's Australians there. You go to Mexico, there's Mexicans there. You go to any other country, they have one type of people that live there, unless there's a person or some type a person from another country who decided to move there because they like that country. But for the most part, what lives in that country is what lives in that country.
But
we're the only country.
America
is not like that.
America is a melting pot, right?
It is. So that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like we should be forced. Like, for example, when blacks were brought over here as slaves, like we were taken, our language and our history was taken from us. And so we were forced to learn the white man's language and learn their history and learn their way of life.
Okay.
Right? I feel like I disagree with that. I feel like, it's about time now where, okay, you guys abolish slavery. All is technically forgiven. All right, let's separate. You know what I mean? Like, we're here. We have no choice but to be here. Us being integrated has never worked. That's an experiment that has never worked. From the time that it started, even when they burned down the whole Black Wall Street and they started opening up their stores to black people and black people started shopping down there, like even when it started, it still didn't work. White people still didn't want black people. Even to today, it's still racism that happens because white people don't want us around. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you not wanting me around.
Okay.
Just give us our own spot, our own president, our own law enforcement, our own shit, and we good. Like, y'all stay over there and we stay over here. And if we want to come together and do some shit, we can. If not, then all right, we're straight. That's what I mean, man. That's what I mean.
Okay, you kind of got what you want, though. Your scenario kind of works that way. It's called Africa. If you want you know, but it's like,
but that's not fair. That's not fair because they don't live. They're not from here.
No, they're not. But America was but you know, and America. That's literally what the whole point of this of the reason why this land was taken from the Native Indians was to build a cornucopia of a new world in a way, you know? So what you're saying is that, yeah, you want to go to these other countries where this is, and I mean, I think that's what you're explaining is what I kind of see that what America is. You know what I mean? I love the fact that my pot of friends is a melting pot of everybody from, you know, multimillionaires to knuckle dragging baboons that, you know, do nothing but you know, cuss and smoke and cheat and steal. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that your feelings are wrong, because I'm sure that there are other people out there that feel that way. I will say that it doesn't necessarily reflect my personal feelings on it, but I wouldn't have asked you this question if I didn't want you to give me your view. And I find it very intriguing that you have that view, because there are some African Americans that will hear what you have to say, and they will, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell is wrong with just James?"
But if you think about it, if you really
you make a very good point in your scenario that you present.
If you think about it, name me a time from the time of, you know, the Americas started up until now where integration has actually worked. Whether it's been blatant racism or whether it's been hidden racism in our application. Why do you need to know what color I am in my application? Why does it matter if I'm black, green, or purple? If I'm qualified to do this job, why do you need to know what do I look like?
With the option of not putting anything at all.
Yeah, but if you do that, then you're still putting yourself in danger. If I put black on that application, whether it be a loan application, whether it be trying to get a house in a nice neighborhood, whether it be trying to get a good job, I'm automatically going to be looked at, oh, he's black. I'm going to be put at the bottom of the list. You know what I'm saying? Or if I don't put anything, they're going to wonder, well, what is this person? I'm going to be put at the bottom of the list.
Well, your last name, James, they already know.
So, so what I'm saying is that there's, whether it be, I watched this. This was what really gave me this mentality is when I watched this documentary, 13th Amendment, and how they purposely brought crack cocaine into the ghettos to anybody who had crack cocaine on their person got like 20 to 30 years in jail. That's just a ridiculous amount of time for using a personal drug that you're probably not supposed to have.
Or having it, not necessarily even just using it. Yeah, so I've heard of the 13th Amendment.
So they were doing that to kind of start slavery back. Because, you know, the prison game there's a lot of money in that. You can pretty much, that's what the 13th Amendment says. I'm paraphrasing, but it says any man, slavery is no longer unless you've been convicted of a crime. Unless you've been duly convicted of a crime, you can no longer be a slave. Right? So they have to find a way to convict people of crime. They purposely put these drugs in these communities to you know, put these people in jail, and it's in the ghetto communities where minorities. They did that on purpose.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think it is that some white people don't want black people or any other races? Why do you think that is?
Why do I say that? I don't think they want what?
Why do you think some white people don't want black people?
I don't think it's that they don't want black people. I just think they want us how they remember us. They want us, you know, in our place. They want us as the weaker, you know, more vulnerable race. They want us to be their slaves. They want us to be their, you know, I don't think they don't want us. They just don't want us to see. They just don't want to see us as equal to them.
Okay, they don't want to see. They don't want. Some whites don't want to see blacks as equals.
I don't even think it's like. What am I trying to say? Yeah, That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, this is interesting. You got my journalistic antenna.
I just think that
full tilt right now.
I think they just don't want to see us as equals, because I haven't really met a white person that makes me feel like they hate me. You know, I haven't met that, but I have met white people, you know, especially in business and music, that carry this chip on their shoulder, like, I'm white, I can do what I want, you know, and it's
a little bit of a privilege type of aspect and so forth, you know.
And there was an incident that happened to me here in Nashville, actually. So I'm at work, I'm playing at a gig, and I'm the only, at this night, I'm the only black guy in the band, but usually there's another black guy. He just wasn't playing this night. Okay. Anyway, make this short. Everybody in the band has on chains. We all have on chains. The old bass player in that band, I'm the new bass player in that band, but the old bass player in that band came to watch us play, and he wanted to sit in. So I let him sit in, and I went to go use the bathroom, get me another drink, just kind of hang or whatever. So I went upstairs, used the bathroom, and on my way back downstairs, one of the security guards grabbed me, and he says, "Tuck your chains in or get out." And I look at him, I'm like, "Bro, I'm working." And I was like, I've been working here for over a year. Like, what are you talking about? And so I was like, so I just walk away from him, and he grabs me. He's like, "Bro, I'm not going to tell you again, tuck your chains in." I'm like, "Bro, this is a security guard that I've never seen before." So this is where it got crazy. I was like, "Dude, I've never met you." I said, "Your manager here?" I said, "Bro, I've been working here for over a year. So why are you addressing me like this? Like, I wear these chains every time I play here."
And was the band playing? Was the whole band wearing the chains, or this was just part of what you? So it was part of the band's costume.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the band wears chains.
Okay,
it's not like we all did it on purpose. That's part of their swag. Everybody has on some type of chain.
Okay,
you know. So anyway, I walk away from him, and I look at another security guard. And I'm like, "Hey, man, your guy's in here trying," because at this point he's trying to kick me out. So the band. Yeah. So I look at another security guard. I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't know this security guard, but he's trying to kick me out over my chains. Like, I'm confused." And so this guy is like, "Well, he's the head of security, so if he kicks you out, you got to go." And I'm like, "What? You tripping? I'm working tonight." Like, so I just walk away. I'm like, "I'm just gonna let y'all calm down. Like, you'll see me on stage in a second."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so anyway, they actually kick me out. They escort me out of the building. Escort me out. And so at this point, I'm livid because my gear is on stage. You know, another guy's playing my bass. I'm supposed to be back up there after this song. So they're like, I'm looking at the security. I'm like, "Okay, if you guys can kick me out, can I at least go in there and get my stuff?" And this is where I got crazy. He said, "You stand right here. We'll have somebody bring it to you." I was like, "You're out of your fucking mind." I got so angry. I walked in through the other door. I ran on stage. I grabbed the mic, and I looked at that band. I said, "Y'all better fix this or don't call me again." Because it was just, at that point, the lead singer had already knew why I was kicked out. When he saw them kick me out, he walked off the stage and go talk to the security guard. And he said, "What's going on? Why you kick my bass player out?" And he found out they only kicked me out because of my chains. And so after I went back, make this short, I went back and I tried to reconcile with the security guard because I wanted to get paid and I wanted to talk to the lead singer about what actually went down, right?
Was the lead singer wearing chains too?
Yes. Yes. So when he walked outside, I said, "Chris, you have on chains. The entire band has on chains. He told you he kicked me out because I had on chains. What do you call this? I'm the only black guy in the band. So what do you call that?" There was no apology from the lead singer, nor was there apology from the venue. The venue, they kicked me out again when I came back. He was like, he didn't tuck his chains in. He can't come back in here anymore. They banned me from walking into that place because I didn't want to tuck in my chains. And the entire band, who was white, has on chains.
So what if you would have? That's insane. But one question, Just. Why wouldn't you just tuck the chains in and then when you got on stage, take the chains back out?
Come on now. I knew what it was right off the bat, and I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna bitch up to you because you're security. I've been working here and I've never seen you before. Been working here for almost a year and a half.
How is he the head of security and you ain't never seen him before?
Because he works for the company that owns that. I guess he was there for a special reason. The company that owns that particular venue is not a local company. They live somewhere else in like Delaware or some shit.
Well,
and they brought him in for some reason, and I guess I just ended up meeting him that night in that way.
Well, it is Nashville.
Yeah.
And, Nashville has not always had the best, historic prowess for African Americans and so forth like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he thought I was a customer. Like later on, the lead singer called me. He said, "Yo, he thought you were a customer." I said, "I know that's what he thought."
Have you played with that band since then?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. After that, but not during the I asked him. I said I would play again if somebody called me. He had the GM call me and apologize, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Now it wasn't Noah Khan, was it?
No.
Okay.
This was a local gig in Nashville.
Okay, all right.
He had the GM of that restaurant call me and they apologized, and yeah.
Was it the Blake Shelton restaurant?
It was.
Don't give the name out. Don't give the name out. But it wasn't the Blake Shelton restaurant.
It wasn't the Blake Shelton restaurant.
I love Blake Shelton's music, but he look country.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, just experiencing that stuff on the South, man, it's like, yo, all right, y'all don't want us to play in y'all venues, that's fine. Y'all want us to play on y'all records, though. Y'all want us to play in y'all's churches. You know what I mean? I mean, but if you don't want to, if you don't want to actually be a part of me, the person, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Just give us our own shit. That's fine.
It's a very interesting view. I've never heard it. I'm not begrudging you for it, and I'm glad that you shared it. You know what I mean? Man. There's going to be some people that are going to listen to this or going to view this back, and they're going to feel the exact same way that you feel. I
don't think anybody's going to feel that.
You'll be surprised, man.
I think people really want everybody to love each other. I'm like, that's never going to happen.
Well, the thing is that there are people that are African American, and I've experienced this my whole entire career. There are people on the African American side that don't have nothing to do with me because of the fact that I am one of those people that just want everybody to love each other in a certain way. You know what I mean? And you brought a different perspective to it. Yeah. And I'm saying that people are going to hear this and going to agree with you because your perspective that you just shared on the show, I've seen on other people's social media profiles.
And it's not hate.
So you're not alone. And you're right. It's not hate. And you're not alone. I'm
okay with being with my people.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
If we want to hang out, we can hang out.
Yeah, I say that. Hey, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with looking over and say, "Hey, white bro, why don't you come over to the cookhouse for the day?" You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah.
Go ahead and bring your peanut butter sandwich and your cabbage.
But I'm perfectly fine with a white only restaurant. I'm perfectly fine with a black only restaurant. I'm perfectly fine with that. That would not offend me at all.
A white only restaurant and a black only restaurant.
If I went to Scottsdale and I saw a white only, I'm like, okay. Let's go to South Phoenix. I ain't tripping.
Oh, hell no. You are so damn mind. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Fat and Furloughed with my friend Just James. Just James, thank you so much for joining us, man. I appreciate you so much. Folks, we will be back tomorrow night with a whole nother Fat and Furloughed episode here on Fat Guy Radio Show. Tune in for that, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Just.
All right, man.